Today, I want to present my analysis. Before I make presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Marjuki. I'm currently studying at Palangkaraya University, majoring in development economics. Leading sector analysis of West Kotawaringin Regency. Background research. Indonesia is one of the largest countries which rank 15th largest country in the world, having 58 provinces, 416 regency, and 98 cities. With such a large area, it will make it difficult for the government to regulate all existing areas. Therefore, regional autonomy is created where each region has the authority to regulate its own region, with the assumption that regional government know and understand the potential of their region better. West Kotawaringin. West Kotawaringin is a regency located in central Kalimantan province, which is famous for its natural habitat for orangutans, namely Tanjung Puting National Park. Tanjung Puting is one of the tourist destinations that is often visited by foreign tourists, and another tourist destination that is often visited by foreign tourists is the Yellow Village. These two are icons of West Kotawaringin Regency, but is the tourism a leading sector? We can see from this table that the sector with the largest GRDP are the processing industry sector and the agriculture, forestry and fisheries sector, where the GRDP value reaches 3.8 trillion. This is GRDP growth in Kotawaringin Regency, where the growth fluctuates every year. We can see from the graph that the GRDP growth of West Kotawaringin Regency in the year 2020 experienced a very fantastic decline, where in the year 2019 the growth reached 5.79%, but in the year 2020 it fell to 0.98%. The reason for this decline is none other than the disaster that baffled the whole world is COVID-19. However, in the following year, countering this regency, GRDP growth rose again in a positive direction. The formulation of the problem from this background is what sector are the leading sector that can contribute for the economy in West Kotawaringin Regency. Research purpose. The main objective of this research is to identify leading sector and determine potential sector for development, analyze change in economic structure and their influence on economic growth in West Kotawaringin Regency. Benefit of research. This research can be useful for the government to create a potential policy in developing the economic sector and have an impact on increasing people income. Literature review. The first is economic growth theory. Economic growth is the development of activities in the economy which causes goods and services produced in society to increase and society prosperity to increase. And second is economic development theory. In the sense of economic development that is used as a guideline, it is a process that causes the per capita income of the population of a society to increase in the long term. Economic development is related to per capita income and national income. Per capita income is the average income of the population of a region, while national income is the production value of goods and services created in an economy within a year. And third is economic basis theory. The economic basis theory has two sectors of activity, namely the economic basis sector and the non-economic basis sector. The base sector is a sector that has great potential in the determining comprehensive development in the region, while the non-base sector is a supporting sector in comprehensive development. Research methodology. This research aims to analyze structural transformation economy in West Kotawaringin Regency from aspects that include probable economic sector in West Kotawaringin GRDP. The data used in this research in this time series for the 2018 to 2022 period. This research used Sipser analysis approach, location question methods, and classroom typology. Location question. The formula used to calculate the location question is as follows, like that, where the LK is a value of the economic sector in West Kotawaringin Regency. VI with small p is GRDP sector I in West Kotawaringin Regency. VT with V small is total GRDP of West Kotawaringin Regency. VI with big P is GRDP sector E in Central Kalimantan Province. And VT with big P is total GRDP of Central Kalimantan Province. Decision-making criteria. If the LQ value is greater than 1, it means that the sector is a base sector that is able to export its industrial product to other regions. If the LQ value is equal to 1, it means that the sector is only sufficient to meet needs in its own region. If the LQ value is smaller than 1, it means the sector in that area is non-based sector which tends to import production result from other region. Sipser analysis consists of three basic, interconnected pieces of information. First is national economic growth or niche. Next is proportionalship or mix, differentialship or cheat. It makes formation Sipser where the niche equal niche plus mix plus cheat. Classen typology. The Classen typology is used to categorize regions based on a combination of economic growth and income. From the result of this analysis, four pattern characteristics were obtained. Quadrant 1, the sector is advancing and rapidly growing. This quadrant is the sector quadrant with GRDP growth rate that is greater than regional growth that is the reference, and has contribution to GRDP that is greater than the sector contribution to the regional GRDP that is the reference. And quadrant 2 is advanced but deeper sector. Sector in this quadrant have a GRDP growth value that is where then the regional GRDP growth that is the reference, but have a contribution to the regional GRDP that is greater than the value contribution of the sector to the regional GRDP that is the reference. And third is quadrant 3. Potential sector or still can grow rapidly. This quadrant is a quadrant for sectors that have a GRDP growth value that is higher than the reference, but the sector contribution to regional GRDP growth that is the reference, but the sector contribution to GRDP is smaller than the value of the sector contribution to the regional GRDP is the reference. And the last is quadrant 4. Relatively lagging sector. This quadrant is occupied by sector that have a GRDP growth value that is lower than regional GRDP growth that is the reference, and, and at the same time has a contribution to GRDP that is smaller than the contribution value of the sector to the regional GRDP is the reference. Result and discussion. Location question analysis result. From the location question analysis result table, we can see that there are 8 basic sectors that have a location question of more than one, indicating there is superiority in this sector and the basis of the economy in West Kotawaringin Regency. The 8 leading sectors include agriculture, forestry, and fisheries, processing industry, water supply, waste management, waste and recycling, construction, wholesale and retail trade, car and motorbike repair, transportation and warehousing, financial service and insurance, and corporate service. These 8 sectors have a capacity to meet market needs, both inside and outside West Kotawaringin Regency. On the other hand, there are 9 other non-based sectors that have not been able to meet the needs of the domestic market in West Kotawaringin Regency. And next is SIPSAR analysis result. From the SIPSAR analysis table, it can be seen that during the period 2018-2022, the West Kotawaringin Regency economy experienced an increase of 2.3 trillion. This economic increase was the result of several factors, including economic growth in Central Kalimantan Province. The influence of the economic growth of Central Kalimantan Province on the economic growth of West Kotawaringin Regency provides a positive contribution of 1.8 trillion. If we look at the sectoral economic growth of West Kotawaringin Regency compared to relative growth rate of the same economic sector at the provincial level, it saw that on average the economic sector at the provincial level is relatively higher than the sector at the national level. Then the industrial mix dynamic factor. The influence of the industrial mix on the economy in West Kotawaringin Regency contribute a positive contribution of 38 billion. When looking at the output produced, the industrial mix has both good and bad impacts on most economic sectors. A positive value indicates growth that is faster than overall economic growth, while a negative value indicates growth that is slower than overall economic growth, and the last factor is competitive advantage. The influence of competitive advantage in its economic sector has increased. Based on this result, it saw that the economic sector has a positive depreciation value, reaching 476 billion. There are 9 sectors that show a good level of competition, including manufacturing, industry, construction, wholesale and retail trade, car and motorcycle repair, financial service and insurance, real estate, government administration, defense and military social security, educational service, health service, and social activities. On the other hand, agriculture, forestry, and fisheries, mining and quarrying, electricity and gas procurement, water procurement, waste management, waste and recycling, transportation and warehousing, provision of accommodation and food and drink, information and communication, company service, other service experience a decline competitive. A sector with a negative depreciation value means that the competitiveness of the sector in West Kotawaringin Regency is lower than competitiveness of the same sector in Central Kalimantan Province. Next is the result of the classroom typology analysis. Are Quadrant 1 is filled by mining and quarrying sector, water supply, waste management, waste and recycling, construction, information and communication. This sector is an advanced and rapidly growing sector. Then quadrant 2 is filled with the electricity and gas procurement sector, wholesale and retail trade, car and motorbike repair, real estate. This sector is developed but diverse sector. Then the sector that fill the third quadrant are the financial service and insurance, government administration, defense and military social security sector. This sector is a potential sector or can still develop. And the last one is quadrant 4, namely the relatively underdeveloped sector filled with the agriculture, forestry and fishery sector, processing industry, transportation and warehousing, provision of accommodation and food and drink, health service and social activities and other services. And the conclusion is the basis sector in West Kotawaringin Regency are agriculture, forestry and fishery sector, processing industry, water supply, waste management, waste and recycling, construction, wholesale and retail trade, car and motorcycle repair, transportation and warehousing, financial service and insurance, and corporate service. The sector that saw a good level of competition are the processing industry and construction. Thank you.